Yeah, go.
A big hello to all the viewers here today. Welcome to the enriching session of D Life Again. I'm Pramila Mundra, a nutritionist with master's degree in food science and nutrition. I'm also enrolled in the low carb nutrition diploma designed by D Life. I would suggest that anybody looking for deep knowledge or to further their career in nutrition, it's an excellent diploma course, one of its kind. In fact, the only one legally tenable right now in India for low carb nutrition. I run my own health and nutrition clinic in Bangalore, and I'm quite happy to share that I've been able to touch many lives by handholding them to low carb nutrition dietary patterns, aiding them in their weight loss, and improving a general quality of their health life. I especially feel blessed that in the past 1 year, in the lockdown times, I've been connected to a lot of teenage kids who have come to me for healthy eating habits. And I suddenly realized that nutrition should be taught in schools and colleges because I think healthy eating is a very crucial part of growing up, and it's as important as a professional career or even our mental health. Hence, I think it's a wonderful idea if we can inculcate that, because when we adapt all these habits early on in life, it hugely helps us to maintain our health later on. As I see a lot of my own clients struggling to change their way of lifestyle and dietary patterns later on in life. D Life is such a great platform which is doing amazing work in this area. It is the only LCHF and keto community in India which has been involved in reversing the diabetes of many people, helping them with obesity, PCOS, and also various metabolic disorders. D Life has almost more than 250 success stories already and a huge 120 collection of low carb Indian recipes. What more could you ask for? If anybody who is interested to join the community, please go to their website www.dlife.in and you will be amazed at what you find there. D Life was founded by Anup Singh, an engineer from IIT. Recently, Anup Singh and D Life has been awarded the Icons of India Award by the reputed Outlook magazine for pioneering low carb nutrition in India. For those watching this program, I would highlight that all the discussions happening here are not to be put in practice without any professional guidance. You need to consult a doctor or a low carb nutritionist before you adapt to a low carb nutrition pattern or look at changing your medications. Also, there are no financials attached to the sessions. This is all done free of cost with the whole idea of spreading genuine, true information to help people become more healthier. Now, I'm super excited to welcome my host of my guest for the day, Mr. Venkatesh. Mr. Venkatesh is an electrical engineer from IIT Chennai. He's been serving with BHEL, and in 2017 he retired as the AGM. He has an inspiring story of reversing his own diabetes and losing a stupendous 50 kilogram of weight in a very short span after adopting the LCHF diet. And it's truly inspiring how he did all this towards the end of his 50s after surviving a heart attack. So, without any delay, I would welcome Mr. Venkatesh now to the session and share about his journey. To start with, Mr. Venkatesh, a big welcome from D Life. And can we start with a brief introduction and a small background of yourselves?
Yes, good afternoon to all of you. I'm Venkatesh. Actually, I am 64 years old now, actually. So I'm from Bangalore. I did my engineering in Bangalore and then I did my post-graduation at IIT Madras. As soon as I completed my post-graduation at IIT Madras, I joined BHEL at their Hyderabad division in the R&D division, and then I was there for 7 years. Then subsequently, I took a transfer to Bangalore and served BHL Bangalore for 36 years. So during this course of time, the various pressures in the engineering life, you always have a lot of tension. And during this time, around 2004, that is in 2004, that was at when I was 47 years old, I had an heart attack. Basically, I had chest pain. I used to go for walking daily in the mornings, but then 2 days I could not go to walking and all that. So I had some chest pain. So we went to a chest specialist actually, and then he checked up the ECG and all that, and then he decided, okay, you have to me. I think you have an heart attack, so you have to get admitted. So immediately I was admitted in Wokhad actually in Cunningham Road, and then they found that I had a blockage of 95% in the one artery called the one artery actually. Then I was actually stented in that artery actually. It is called RCA. So after that, then I did not know what to do, how to go about improving my health. That is the only thing I had. Because on and off, I was a smoker. And I was following the normal diet, whatever everybody was following. We are following the standard low fat diet. So, and then many of my friends suggested this Dr. Chajjar. Basically, uh, he had come out of AAMS and started his own practice for improving heart patients. And he has started this new diet in 2004, just at that time. And then, so I also got interested in that. And the way he was telling is everything that he was telling is scientific and all that. Everybody was quite convinced of him that because of cholesterol, we're having heart attack and all that. So I continued with his diet, and his diet was very strict. Actually, there is no called zero oil diet. So it was cooking was a real mess. He wanted us to eat all plant diet, and that too quantities had to be very less. So maintaining that diet was one of the most impossible things. So anyway, I continued with the diet, but I found that over a period of time, we were doing every 3 years, we were doing the blockages of the various arteries and all that. We found that it was slowly going up rather than coming down. So then I talked to the doctor, what is this happening? He said it okay, the technicians, they would have told, okay, they are only telling based on the numbers, so it is slightly it will go up and all that. So but I was not very convinced. So and then I decided that this may not be a right solution, and continue with my own diet, because this was not helping me much. So even though I had practiced for nearly 5-6 years with him, and suffered quite a lot with hunger. Most of the time I was hungry, and we are not able to take any food properly and all that. And used to, the maximum non-veg I was taking is only white of eggs, and that too he allowed it only once in a week and all that. So it was very difficult to maintain the diet.
So then,
So
what
then
exactly was the main course of the diet? If not oil, if not too much of non-vegetarian, what used to form the main part of the diet?
everything else, whatever we are eating now. So basically, if you have anything you're preparing, you're not supposed to prepare with any oil. You have to prepare with water. Say like if you do upma, you have to prepare with only water, no oil. So you were eating all grains and legumes and vegetables and all that. That was all going on. No red meat and eggs, only white of eggs. That's the diet. It's called zero oil diet.
Okay.
And it was very difficult diet to maintain. Actually, after seeing that, maintaining keto diet is very easy, I see. It is the best diet that we can follow. Maintaining is very easy in keto because you don't feel hungry at all. There, I was feeling so much hungry every time I used to try for some murmura or this or that. Keep on eating the whole day, morning till evening, because you are feeling all the time hungry actually. Even
Yes.
though you had lunch, just after 1 or 2 hours, again you start hungry. So,
Yes.
but and I did lose a little bit weight, but then after that, when I decided not to follow this diet very strictly, then automatically I started picking up weight.
Okay.
And then I had a problem with my digestion and all that. Then I had GERD actually because I become overweight. So after that, then I started taking some medicines for that. Then it continued. After that, actually in 2014, everything was fine. 2015, actually in February, I had diabetes and hypertension both suddenly attacked me in February.
So, but how
So
did you realize that you have diabetes?
we actually see my wife is already a diabetic. She was already there for 5 6 years before me. So
Mhm.
it was very easy, and every time she used to go to the doctor and all that. Every month we used to go for checkup. So then I had the same symptoms. Then I told her immediately. She said, "You have to check up your sugar. I think that is where the problem is." So immediately I checked up, and it was nearly A1C was 8 or something like that, and the blood sugar had gone up to 400 or so.
Okay.
So immediately I started medicines. So initially it was only metformin and all that, and then I also started on hypertensive medicines 2015.
Okay.
Then I continued with that, and whatever we ate, again it went on increasing. So only the medicines were increasing every year, and then but the sugar levels were never going down. Whatever you control, actually. So that it's was not very clear to me. And anyway, I was to doing my regular walks of 45 minutes daily.
Mm.
And one thing that was good about the low-fat diet of Dr. Chejjar was he taught us how to control tension and also do yoga and meditation. These things helped me a lot. So those things I continued. So we used to teach yoga, and then he also took some classes and videos on controlling stress, yoga, and meditation. These three things. No, that
Okay.
is one good thing about that. The
But
food is
did
very
it help
bad.
you to, yeah, did it help you to reduce your A1C or lose weight?
No, no, no. But I was more calm actually. That is the only thing that was there because I was not getting that much stressed out compared to the earlier days. So anyway, I my smoking also went on and off and all that, and it was very difficult. Maybe because of the sugar up going up and down. Maybe because of that reason. I'm just thinking at present. So then I went up to glimepiride. I was taking about 2 mg, about maybe 1 1.5 in the morning, one and a half in the night. Then I was taking metformin in the afternoon. So the medicines went up. So fortunately, another one more year, I retired. So retired in February 2017. Then I started thinking that I should do something about improving my health. So then I started searching the internet and seeing what is that should be done and all that. Then at that moment, I came across one TED talk by Dr. Sarah Halberg. Actually, you might have heard of her. Many of them would have heard of her. Actually, she is now in Verita Health. So when I heard that TED talk, it's just 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, it really hit me like anything. What is this? It is the simplest solution, and we have not been doing anything about it, and nobody knows about it. So really, it hit me, and then I went diving into that. I just searched whatever information that was there on the internet, and then at that time I've searched various websites that came up across Diet Doctor, then D Life, all these things. So I was able to. But what I did was I just took one health app, Healthify Me.
Mhm.
Then whatever I ate, I recorded. Then I
Okay.
recorded my sugar readings. And within 2 weeks, I was down to very low readings, up to 60. So then immediately I went to my doctor. He said, no, 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 I think you have to stop. So immediately I stopped my medicine. So within 15 days to 1 month, all my medicines were over. I started somewhere on 22nd after June. That is after my wife's birthday. I started. Then after that, by mid-July, I had come off my medicines actually.
So, what exactly did you do in this 1 month, which made such?
1 month. See, basically what I did was I weighed everything that I ate and saw to it that my carbohydrates are less than 20 grams. That's all I did. I was very strict.
Mhm.
So I was very strict. And then one thing was I ate whatever that I felt was nutritious. I was not going by taste and all that because a lot of people want very tasty food and all that. But I could eat eggs. Now, a non-vegetarian was allowed. So it was not a real big problem. I used to, and I was a good cook. So there's not a problem for me. So all non-vegetarian, I cook myself. My wife is a vegetarian. So anything vegetarian, she cooks, and non-vegetarian, I cook. So like that. But anyway, we Indians being non-vegetarians are really not non-vegetarians, to tell you frankly, because all festivals you're not supposed to touch eggs or any non-veg. Then no Saturday, no Mondays. So it was a very tough things. So we are pure vegetarians on Saturdays, Mondays, and festival days. So you have to take care of it. So those days I really felt difficult. Okay, paneer and other things I used to take. And then I have not touched grains so far from the day somewhere in July of 2017 till now. I don't feel like eating grains at all. No, I practically maybe 1 or 2 days I had to take because of my son's marriage.
Okay.
On 1 or 2 days I had to take because of his in-laws and all that. So we could not do away with that. But anyway, I used to take 125 grams of metformin at that time. Whenever I take some little bit, some carbs are going up, immediately take metformin. 250 grams tablets I used to have, just cut it in half and take it. Because if I take 250 full, I used to go into low sugar. So I could not do that. So I have to take only half of the tablet. So that way, then problem is during that time, see, when I started the diet, my wife and all these people started, what is this? Again, you're starting some new diet, because they were fed up with the old zero oil diet.
Yes,
So they tell you every now and then you're changing some diet and putting all of us in trouble. And now you're eating too much fat. What is this?
totally the opposite.
Opposite. So I had to, now I started doing some research, and then finally I could get one doctor, Dr. Parmesh. He
Okay.
was a low carb doctor. Fortunately, I could get him in Bangalore. So we went to him, myself, my children, my wife, and all these people. We went and then we met him. And then he told all these people that it's okay, let him continue and all that. So, but by that time, it was end of July when we went actually. By that time, I had reduced my tablets actually. So then he said he can continue and all that. And then he also gave a lot of suggestions about the food and all that, which I already was following. He also has got some nutritionists with him, Tanzia madam. So
But tell us something that when you had to switch to a diet which literally did not have any grains, what challenges did you feel? Because it's not very easy for people to totally cut down on grains. And
mhm.
what exactly did you start, replacing your grains with?
See, first of all, breakfast for me is only eggs. So
Okay.
I had only eggs. So basically, I used to have either boiled eggs or omelette or fried eggs, or I'll do cauli egg rice,
Okay.
cauliflower with eggs. So that is one cauli egg rice.
Yes.
Then we used to take rotis we used to make in the afternoon with coconut flour. The recipe is there on DLF. You can also see. So that and we used to have. I can have see basically what we used to do is we used to have a lot of vegetables. So all vegetables which are above ground we can eat. That is very clear. So I used to have a lot of vegetables, and then with rotis in the afternoon. So if on a pure veg diet, otherwise if non-veg means I'll have some non-veg with some roti. And after some time, no, 3 4 months after eating this type of food, you will never feel like eating roti, rice, and all these things. You'll not feel like eating. You'll eat standard diet, and then you can eat paneer or cheese with omelette with cheese and with some little bit vegetables. So that way. So and you can have a salad. So these type of things, once you eat, no, then you can control yourself. See, in the initial stage, only all this you want roti, you want rice, you want something else. And in my house and all that, we used to eat only ragi balls. I don't know whether you heard of that or not. That was our staple food. Ragi balls with
Southern
sambar
India
and
is
then rice.
yes.
Okay. So even though a lot of my relations keep asking me what is the alternative for ragi ball, I said forget ragi ball and all. You cannot eat on keto. You have to eat only kali rice and rotis made out of this.
Mhm.
So that way. So I have not found any alternative, and I don't want any alternative. Also, I have 60 years I've eaten that. So ragi is again a millet basically, and it is high carb. So you just can't manage to keep your sugar levels down with that.
Yes.
So there were a lot of difficulties, but we have to face them and we have to headlong. See, basically, once I found the science is with me, So there's nothing nobody could budge me from doing that, change my intention. Even now, it's very clear to me that whatever I'm doing is so correct and so perfect that my health is really good. See, I had some leg pains, I had some problem with my digestion, I had GERD, all that went off. And within, 6 months, I've lost 15 kgs. I just became 62 from 78. So 62 I was, but after that I've just relaxed myself a bit. So I'm not doing to that extent low carb. Little bit some carbs I'm taking here and there. Maybe a little bit more vegetables, some seeds. So like that type of thing, seeds, almond seeds, and other things I'm taking. So I'm still keeping it in low carb only, but may not be keto. But actually, keto is much better than low carb. I felt because those days I had so much of energy, so much of my mind was so active, and I could do anything. I could read so many things. So it was really good.
Wonderful to hear that. But then,
Yes, yes.
how often would you eat when you were in a keto?
At that time, in the beginning, I used to eat 3 times. And
Okay.
then slowly I had to see, once I reached 6 months, then to maintain that weight, I had to do intermittent fasting. I've started intermittent fasting from January of 2018. So now I'm doing only 18:6, maybe 2 times only I eat. Once maybe for breakfast, maybe around 10:30, and maybe 3 o'clock lunch, nothing more. So again, next day. So I don't feel any hunger at all. I don't take any snacks also. I have my coffee. I take my coffee and then some tea, black tea and black coffee with some cream.
Mm.
And then sometimes I also take soup, actually, not vegetable. Basically, I took mutton soup. And then that's all. So I take some buttermilk. These type of things I take and some water.
But then, when you switched to a 18-year fasting window,
Mm,
did you
mm.
experience any craving, or did you ever feel
No,
that?
no, no, no. Once you start eating keto or low carb perfectly, you will never feel any craving. I don't feel like craving. Even now he's telling me have some chicken and all that, but I'm not having that craving because time is around 3:30 or 4. We normally have lunch.
Yes.
But it's not there. See, you don't feel like. Actually, I can fast for 1 more day. There's nothing very this thing about it. And the other thing is, no, you feel so much active. Actually, see, I've not run for a long time. Then suddenly in 2019, I was able to run 10 kilometers.
Wow, that's amazing.
10 kilometers thumb race I ran here in Nice Road, and I was able to finish it. So it's really, and that too, I did not take any carbs that day. I just went fasted, ran, and came back, and then after that, I had some eggs in the morning. So I felt really good. Only this time I'm not able to go because of the COVID business. Where all the outside races and other things have reduced. So that it really keeps you active also. So there are
Yeah,
no
I
joint
think
pains, nothing.
it's an eye opener for a lot of us because we think that if we are runners or if we do heavy exercise, our body needs carbs, and we tend to
No.
eat more carbs for that. So I think hearing this will be an eye opener for a lot of us.
No, we have so much of fat in our body. It is continuously available to our body, and you don't feel anything. You need only to drink some water on the way. That's all. Nothing else. Drink some water and keep yourself hydrated. So that's how. This is my personal this thing journey through the low carb world. And actually, I'm very happy that D Life. I was a member actually, and I became a premium member sometime in the end of 2018. I'm there, and basically the journey, maintenance journey is also very difficult. You have to continue to be in that journey. For that, D-Life has helped quite a lot. There are a lot of recipes. There are a lot of talks going on. We had a very good WhatsApp group. I would request them to put back the WhatsApp group because I learned quite a lot through that group actually.
Yeah.
Because very few people come on forum. A lot of people are on WhatsApp. So, and we learned quite a lot actually. And then one of the things that I saw was for heart patients, Shashikant did a CAC and he got zero. Okay, at that time, that is one thing. I don't know whether I'm going away from your question or
So we would
I.
actually want to know more about your journey with D
Mm,
Life. How did you
okay.
actually know about D Life? When did you start interacting, and what exactly happened once you started the your journey with D Life?
See, D-Life, I joined sometime in 2017, maybe July, August, September, somewhere around that. And I've been the member there. And the thing is, I've been closely interacting with the people there, and I also posted some things. I've posted some recipes, and a lot of recipes are there, so we could get some ideas. And these people have been doing low carb much more than me. I mean, for a longer duration. And also there are certain doctors and all that they can give advice on your this one. So maintenance wise, it was very useful me, because what happened, by the time I joined D Life, my journey had already been completed, almost completed actually. So because I went a deep dive, see, normally D Life, what it suggests is that you take one meal at a time, go low carb, maybe about a week or 10 days, then go to the next this one, like that.
Okay.
So that way it is done. But in my case, what I did, the science was behind me. I said, and nobody is this thing. So I saw whatever that was available on the internet and started my journey straight away. I found out what are the low carb foods, what I should eat, what I should not eat, and I stuck to the diet. And within 2 3 months, I had really become well versed with the diet, and then continued with it.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, what exact difference did you find in your health parameters like your HbA1c, your lipid profile, and
Hmm.
other parameters once you did your switch to your LCHF diet?
See, basically my HbA1c, which was around 7.58, I think, 8.5 it was when I
Mhm.
started the diet somewhere in June of 2017. It dropped to 5.3 within a month and a half,
Fantastic.
and without medicines. That is without medicines. See, basically I dropped my medicines within a month. No, and when I started the diet, I was not going to a doctor regularly. So
Mhm.
when I started the diet, I started reducing the medicines on my own, 50%, 50% like that. So that by the end of that, I had become very low, because I was already becoming low sugar. I was getting to know of it, and I was monitoring my glucose sugars.
Mhm.
And so within a month and a half, I'd already dropped all my medicines. So after that, I have not taken medicines unless and until I have a high carb food. High carb food means sometimes some thing happens, some festival is there, they will tell you to eat this or that something. So at that time, see, basically something with the dals and all that they will add. They'll say, okay, you can take a little bit dal and all that.
Yeah.
So at that time, I take some metformin, some 125 grams. That's all. Mg, 125 mg I take. So that's how I'm maintaining my diet, and I'm doing 16.8 now. My recent HbA1c is 5.1. So basically, I'm keeping my HbA1c around 5 or below as much as possible.
That's excellent. Do you
Hmm.
take any other medications as of now, or have you stopped everything?
See, basically, when I got diabetes, I already had hypertension. So I had started some medicines.
Mhm.
And then I found that whenever I increased my carb intake a little bit, my BP also used to go up. So I had to switch my medicines. So,
Okay.
and then now I've come back to one medicine only, metoprolol. I'm taking one for basically for BP. BP, I'm taking only one medicine, nothing else. Medicine wise, I'm not taking anything, but I take a lot of supplements.
Okay. What supplements do you take regularly?
Regularly, I'm taking magnesium.
Okay.
And then because of my heart health, and to improve my heart health, and also I'm planning to get my CAC done sometime next year. I want to get a very low value, because that very clearly indicates that I have come out of my heart problems, and
Yes.
that in the next few years, the chance of heart problem will not be there. So in that context, I'm taking vitamin K2, MK7, then CoQ10.
Mhm.
These two I'm taking regularly on a daily basis. So along with magnesium, these three I'm taking on a continuous basis.
Okay. Just for our viewers to know, how exactly does CoQ10 help for heart health?
Basically, then I have to. There's a link in DLife. Actually, there's a video by Patrick, Dr. Patrick. He says what are the various supplements that you can take. Not only follow a full keto diet, but you also have to take certain supplements like CoQ10, K2MK7. Basically, what happens is K2MK7 takes away the calcium which is there in the blood vessels and puts it back in the bones.
Okay.
So the blockages will not happen that easily. And also you need a lot of magnesium. So these two things you have to take. And other than this, I'm also taking vitamin D.
Yes, I think
I'm
right
also taking vitamin D. Also, I'm taking basically because of the COVID thing. Every 1 month, once in a month, I take one CoQ10, 65K. So these are the medicines I'm taking. And then CoQ10, basically, it is anti-inflammatory. I don't remember, so many things are there about CoQ10. Actually, Shashikant also will tell you something, and Dr. Anup. Anup
Yes.
also has taken a lot of CoQ10. It helps you in many inflammations, and also helps your heart basically, because CoQ10 is basically from the heart of the uh, animals that is made.
Okay. Yes, I'm sure that Anup Singh and Shashikant can add to it later on.
Yes, yes. Because Anup Singh has done a lot of what do you say, trial and errors, and he has put it on the DLab site. People can read about it. And Shashikant has already taken CoQ10 for more than a year for reducing CAC to 0. So I also wanted to do that, so I have started that. So it's already about 1.5 years now. So I have to continue that for another 6 months or 8 months, and then I will do a CEC test,
Okay, wonderful.
expecting to get to 0. Let us see.
But tell us something. Usually, people are very scared to go
Hmm.
on a high fat diet post a heart attack,
Yes,
especially
yes.
in India. So,
Hmm.
what made you take up this high fat diet? How did
See,
you really convince?
basically what happens, see, I was on a low-fat diet when I had a heart attack. And
Yes.
then I was there on that diet for nearly how many, about 10 years, 10 years, almost 10 to 13 years I was there. 2004, I had that attack. And then 2017, I was on that same diet, low fat diet. But problem is in our house, we used to take ghee and butter and all that, but not in large quantities, but
Right.
some amount we used to take. And so there was not an issue about ghee and butter at all. My wife was happy that ghee and butter is allowed. So that was not an issue. So that's why they wanted to check up with a doctor before I went full-fledged on the diet. And so we had to go to Dr. Parmesh. Otherwise, I was not so much keen on going to one more doctor and all that.
Mhm.
But fortunately, I could find some LCHF doctor in Bangalore, and we could go. I could go to him, and they were convinced, and so I could continue with that. So that was one big issue.
Okay, so you had to meet a LCHF doctor to convince
Doctor
your wife.
convince my relations actually,
Okay.
especially my wife.
Yeah. Did your wife also follow the same?
She was not very much interested initially, but during my son's marriage, before 1 year before that, she decided she will go for it. So she wanted to drop some weight and become healthy.
Mhm.
So she said she will also do that.
Mhm.
So and fortunately in Bangalore at that time it was not COVID, and keto kitchen was there. So they could give us keto breakfast and lunch. They could directly give it to us, send
Oh.
it to our home.
Mhm.
So I took a 3 months program for her, and she had 3 months of keto kitchen food. Because again, making only pure vegetarian and she eating it was difficult for her. So we were able to get that, and then she was happy with that. Because again, the cooking, no, during the initial stages, cooking, and they will not like the food very much. People who are shifting from high carb. So
Yes.
that is one good thing that I did. I took one lunch and this thing, and then dinner she used to have some little bit whatever was being made. So then after 3 months she started cooking for both her and me, and so we continued to 1.5 years. We continued until, and she was quite healthy during my son's marriage and all. Everything went through properly and all that. Then after 6 months after marriage, she started. No, I want to go back to my own diet. I don't want this low carb diet. And during that time, see, it would have improved if she had done some actually some kind of intermittent fasting. Doctor also was advising, see, you have to drop the night dinner and then continue, and
Yeah.
then slowly you do it so that you can do intermittent fasting, which I was already doing. But she was not very keen on doing, and she used to have snacks here and there. But she did not drop much weight. She was nearly about 80 or something like that. Maybe a few kgs only she could drop, and
But
the medicines
in
also
your-
were reduced.
yeah. But in your case, you were able to drop the dinner and switch on to a 18 hours
Yes, yes.
fasting. So what
Because
exactly?
I was a vegetarian, no, and it is very convenient for us to keep the carbs content below 20 very easily. See,
Mhm.
I don't have to eat anything. See, basically, if she eats a lot of paneer and then a lot of seeds and other things. Some amount of carbs will creep in actually, and cheese, all this little bit of carbs creep in, and you can't have 3 times daily. And she was very fond of butter and ghee.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens? Your calories go up. See, basically, even in keto diet, you have to keep your calories also within limits. You can't keep a very high calorie and do keto diet. That will not happen. So
Yes.
because butter and ghee was allowed, she wanted to have as much butter and ghee, but it's not good, because and carbs also were not that high. So
Yes.
that's the reason she could not reduce weight too much. And
And you have
I
to
told her
follow.
she had to drop the ghee and butter
Mm.
at least once in a while, so that it improves. But anyway, she she could not do that, and she was very adamant and started crying also sometimes. So I could not see that. I just left her,
Yes.
because it is finally their choice. You can only
Yes.
uh, tell them what is the best thing for them, and you can guide them, but finally they have to do it on their own. You
True.
can't do whatever you feel like.
For vegetarians,
Mm.
since you've seen both the sides, vegetarian and non-vegetarian,
Mm.
what foods would you recommend highly for vegetarians who want to do a LCHF or a keto diet?
So
Because
else,
I believe that the options would be quite limited then.
no, not very limited actually. See, I was doing at least 3 days in a week pure vegetarian without even eggs.
Mm.
Okay. So other 4 days only I was eating non-veg. So basically in those 3 days, you can have rotis, and nowadays actually I have found one new low carb atta, because low fit. The other day I told you, which
Yes.
is very good. You can make very good fulkas out of that. It is like any normal roti, and those rotis you can make, and then you can make any sabji you want, and then you can have sabjis, maybe one or two sabjis. Then you can have that, and then there's no limitation as such. I didn't feel any limitation at that time. I used to have and paneer. You can have palak paneer, and then you can have something else like that. You
Yes,
can
I
do
think we
it.
have numerous recipes of paneer.
Yes, numerous recipes are there. Actually, if you go to the DLive site, vegetarian recipes are also as good as this, but it is more convenient and easier if you at least eat eggs.
Yes.
It
Agree.
becomes easier and simpler if you eat eggs. But at least, so if you can tell your actually your clients and all that, if they at least switch on to eggs, no, at least one time, yeah, it will be very good, easy.
How about
So
fruits and vegetables? Were you having any kind of fruit?
no, no, no.
What are
I
the
did not have any fruit.
okay.
No, not even oranges or anything. Lime used to have, that's all. But lime, okay, lemon water and all that. But no other vegetables I was having, because anyway you don't get all the vegetable fruits with low carb. You don't get many in India. So see, you get one. I don't know, star fruit. You ever heard of
Yes.
star fruit? That was only available in Hyderabad once I went there. So I had one or two. But you don't get it nowadays here
Yeah,
during
I
the
think we just do get berries seasonally and avocado.
very seasonally. And avocado is such a problem actually. It becomes so ripe, and by the time you cut it open, it's already spoiled. So it is avocado was a real mess for me.
Yeah,
So I could
exactly.
not get along with avocado at all. But and it's not available all the time,
Yes.
and it is very expensive in
Quite
quite expensive in the non-time. So normally I stopped eating any fruits. Fruits practically are not there. Okay, that is thing. Avocados I used to eat during my initial days, and my wife used to eat a lot of avocados. So there also she used to get a lot of fat. So that is the problem actually. See, avocados, you have to be careful how much of avocados you eat, because it is mostly fat. So if you want to keep the calories, you have to count the calories also.
yes,
Just
we have
because
to
you're an LCHF, you can't simply eat all the fat you are getting.
mm,
So that you have to be careful. So and maintain that.
wonderful. I
Mm.
would also want to ask you what is a key message you would want to give to your viewers today from your journey, your inspiring journey of
Okay, okay.
reversing your diabetes and regaining your health at such a age.
There's one thing I wanted to tell you regarding my heart health. Actually, there's one point I wanted to mention before that. Actually, that is what were the heart parameters. And see, basically, when I had heart attack, my triglycerides were the highest. My cholesterol was normal only. It was not very high. And then only triglycerides were high. That's all, nothing else. All my other parameters, LDL, VLDL, everything was low. Only triglycerides were high, and then the doctors were telling cholesterol is the problem for your problem and all that. So that theory I could not understand over a period of time. See, those 10 years, I was thinking, what is this? Everybody says cholesterol, if it increases, it is a heart attack. But in my case, cholesterol was less than normal, but still I had a heart attack.
Yeah,
So
because
my
of the high.
triglycerides were the only thing which were high, around 300 or so at that time when I had the heart attack.
Mm,
And my blood sugar and all was normal. So blood sugar was only 80, 90 only.
mm,
So even random was only 94, and then my fasting blood sugar was 80. So and then when I managed to do the diet, no, my parameters, I try to keep my triglycerides as low as possible. After that, I brought it down maybe about 3, 4 months later, brought
mm.
it down to 100, and it was almost same throughout. But that diet was really tough because quantity was less,
Yes.
and there was no oil, so you were always feeling hungry, because
Yeah.
he always said you eat only one chapati, only small little bit of vegetables,
Mm.
and no oil. So, and fruit also, half a fruit or quarter fruit, like that. So it
Mm.
was a very tough diet to handle.
Yeah. So I
And
think
the
this
other thing is,
uh,
LDL was never high for me. LDL was never high. Then when I started the keto diet, what happened was the cholesterol went up. My HDL also went up quite a lot. So, but the LDL did not rise to that extent.
mm,
The LDL did not rise. But anyway, my doctor, Dr. Paramesh, he asked me to do a test on the SDLDL, which is a small, dense LDL. So
yes.
I did that test, and my salt dense LDL was quite within the limits. So that is one test people can do if by chance their LDL has gone very high
Mm.
when doing on keto. They can do the SDLDL test and then find out what is the thing. And if required, then they have to little bit increase their carbs.
Yes.
That's the solution. So that's how you can go ahead. Otherwise, there's no issue as far as this thing is concerned. The problem is as far as my blockages were concerned, no, with the low fat diet also it was increasing. So I stopped. I told you. Actually, I was
Yes,
doing
I think
CT.
that is a major truth which people need to know. Even the doctors sometimes, that even with a low
They,
fat diet, blockages
mm,
can increase.
no,
Uh,
because the doctor was not able to tell me anything. See, every 2 years I used to do it, and then my blockages went on. Every 10% or 15%, it kept on increasing, and he never gave a clear-cut answer.
mm,
So there was no scientific reasoning behind his answers and all that. And then I asked him why HDL is not increasing. He told me because your cholesterol has come down, HDL cannot increase. So that is not this thing, because now cholesterol, even though it's increasing, HDL is also increasing. My good cholesterol is increasing for me. That's
yes,
good for my health.
yes,
So these type of way they were answering. So somehow that's why I got fed up with that doctor, and I had to discontinue after a long time, because he started doing some other type of treatments, like injecting something and all these things,
yeah.
which I
Sometimes
stopped.
experimenting happens.
A lot of experimenting, hacking on us. So I
Yes.
said enough of it, and I just left that treatment actually. Then, then recently, actually, unfortunately, during the COVID time, we could not have, my wife could not have a doctor actually, and he was very far off.
Mhm. Okay. Hello. Hello.
So he's her diabetes.
Mhm.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
I think your internet there was some problem.
Yes. Yes. I think I just regained it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, what I was telling was, I don't know,
Yeah. We can hear you, sir.
no, what I was telling was regarding my heart health actually.
Yeah.
See, these blockages were increasing, so I had to stop that. Then after, when I started the keto diet, I found my heart parameters were all okay. So, but then I thought, let me do a carotid Doppler, because CAC and all that. Okay, let us see later on. CT scan I did not want to do immediately, so I did a carotid Doppler. Then subsequently, I have recently, actually, about 6 months back, my wife actually passed away because she had a sudden heart attack because of high blood sugar and all that.
Really sorry
So
to hear that. Yeah.
at that time, I also, because of the tension and all that, I had a lot of back pain.
Okay.
So everybody in my house now started thinking that I had a heart attack again.
Hmm.
So that was a big problem. And now again, I had to go to a doctor, and then because, and another thing that I have done for the heart problem was, see, they always prescribe statins and Ecosprin as a standard medicine, whoever has heart attack.
Yes.
And once I studied about this and studied about the statins and the side effects and the problems that are going to create on the human body, I stopped them immediately. I stopped in 2017 itself because then I wanted to regain my health. I stopped immediately statins and then also my Ecosprin, because Ecosprin is also one issue for me, is because I had have a problem from childhood. Actually, I have a nose bleeding. Actually, when I go out in the sun too often, I have these nosebleeds. And taking this blood thinner would create more problem for me. So I was, and then in the earlier days, I used to never go out because of this.
Yeah,
So
but
I said, let me not take this because the body itself will take care of it. So
how did your doctor react with this when you were?
doctors keep prescribing, but I don't take it because it's not harming me in any way.
Hmm.
Statins anyway, Dr. Paramesh has told me you can stop. But Ecosprin he wanted me to take because I had a stent in my one of the arteries, RCA.
Hmm.
But I have decided not to take it, and I'm going ahead with it. I've stopped now for nearly 3 years, and there is no heart attack or anything like that. Even this back pain which I got, so I was taken to Fortis and all that. They did a lot of tests. They found that I did not have a heart attack, but a lot of tests were done. And at that time, I decided I have to find a low carb cardiologist. Then I did my searching, and then I found Dr. Venkatesh at in Aster RV Hospital in JP Nagar. So I told my son, please take me there. Don't take any other hospital, otherwise I'll be in a mess. So I
Yes.
went to him, and then he said, "There's nothing wrong with you. I think some muscle spasm has happened because your intention."
Hmm.
And then simply gave one small medicine, and everything was okay.
Hmm.
But in the process, a lot of tests got done. I got done the echocardiograph, the TMT,
Hmm.
and my ECG was tested so many times, and everything was fine. I did not have any problem with my heart as such. So that was done about 4 or 5 months back, and
Okay.
I'm quite healthy and happily living. There's no problem.
I think LCHF and keto has paid a lot towards
Yes.
good health.
And another one more thing I want to tell. Actually, see, I have been a smoker on and off,
Hmm.
and maybe that was the reason I got my heart attack. I really don't know. It may be that plus with the type of diet that I was taking and all that.
Yes. Yes.
So, but subsequently, when I did keto, I found that kicking the habit of smoking really it improved. I mean, I've not smoked even one cigarette from 2017 after I did keto. All the addiction, no, what you are addicted to simply goes off.
Yeah,
The
I
mind
think
is not.
yes,
The
because
carb
carbon
addiction
is
went
the
off.
highest
All
addiction.
other addictions also went off.
Yes. So I think
Sometimes I take drinks actually. I take drinks sometimes, and when I take any time I want. That is maybe once in fortnight and all that. I take my 1 or 2 pegs of whiskey, aramse in the weekends. So I enjoy my life. There's nothing like that. I'm curbing anything. See, I'm enjoying everything. I'm eating whatever food I want, and it is not. See, daily I'm not. Somebody has asked me a question that whether it is you're getting bored with the same type of food. Nothing like that. I don't feel bored at all. Every day you can have a different sabji,
hmm.
and
Yeah,
you
I
can have
think
rotis,
food,
dal. You can, huh?
yeah, I think we
And then
need
rasam you can make. You can make curd rice. You can whatever, whatnot. You can have so many recipes. And
hmm.
I used to make pizzas quite a lot in the earlier days
Oh,
in
that's
cauliflower with cauliflower dough.
very interesting.
That used to do, and I used to eat. She used to eat, and my sons also is eating.
Hmm.
And my younger son is doing keto with me, LCHF, I would say, because only one time he eats grains.
Hmm.
Rest of the 2 times he eats only with me. So morning breakfast and lunch with me, and dinner with his wife, carb.
Okay.
So that's how it's going on. So that way he's giving me company. It has been a very good journey. So I can continue. I don't think I'm going to go back to my old style of food any until I die. I
Yeah,
don't know how I'm going to die
yeah.
anyway. That is a
I think
different
it
thing.
is given you so much. So, one last question, sir. That any key message you would want to give your viewers watching you today?
See, basically, going on LCHF improves your health in all aspects. It's not only weight or diabetes, or your mental health improves. I'm a much more calm person now. I was very hot-headed. I used to get temper within no time. I used to shout like anything with my wife and my kids and all that. But after that, I become very calm person actually. So there are so many changes that happen over a period of time, and then all the small aches here and there, my legs aching, my hands aching, all that is gone.
Mm.
I'm feeling very active, and I'm doing a lot of exercises now. I do HIIT regularly, maybe about at least half an hour daily. Huh?
That's fantastic. At this age.
Yes, I'm doing morning about 15 minutes, evening 15 minutes, good enough.
Mm.
Sometimes I do yoga and meditation, which is already there. Not on a very regular basis, but I do. And so I'm enjoying my life with low carb. There's nothing problem. So you can, anybody can do it. Only thing is, I would recommend if somebody drinks and all that, whatever you take snacks, you be. So normally I have a plate of salad and some fried seeds,
Okay.
sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and some almonds and walnuts.
Yeah, basically,
That
I
is
think we have to be very mindful, even if we.
mindful of what you eat at that time, because at that time you feel like eating more. So your
Yes.
calories will go up.
Yeah.
That is all.
Yeah. If
So
we
again,
plan
it will.
ahead, yeah, if we plan
You
ahead,
should plan ahead and do it in the afternoon, and then next day try to fast.
yes.
Try to fast and have your lunch only in the
We
around three
balance
four
out.
o'clock.
If we overdo one day, we could balance out any.
Yes, yes. So those things you have to take care. So, and then all my birthdays are with keto cake. There's no problem. I enjoy it.
Wow.
So
Very
we make it in the house itself,
okay.
and I enjoy. There's nothing like that. I use stevia. Then my cooking is mainly done with coconut oil. So I get coconut oil quite a lot from Tumkur, actually, from nearby place.
Mm.
About 10 liters I get every 2-3 months. So that is enough. And then we also use butter and ghee. Butter and ghee is there,
Do you use
Nandini.
any
We can
other
use.
oils?
Hmm?
Do you use any other oils?
No other oils in my house. No other oils in my
I think
house.
that's also a huge change, which people
Hmm.
need to understand that the
Hmm.
best healthy fats are ghee,
Yes.
butter,
Hmm.
coconut oil, avocado oil,
Yes.
if possible.
Yes. Yes.
So, thank you for a wonderful session and thank you for your time today, sir. We would
Okay.
like
Thank
to
you.
open the session for Q&A now.
Okay.
So, if any of the viewers have any questions, please feel free to raise your queries now.
I have unmuted all. People can speak if they want. They can put on the video if they want.
Hello, this is Urvashi Warman, and thank you so much, Pramila ji, for inviting me to this session. I live in Jaipur, so it's been very inspiring listening to you, sir.
Yes.
My
Tell me.
question was, I have got a little confused when we say low carb and high fat, and
Hmm.
you said cut out the ghee.
Hmm.
So my understanding was that ghee needs to be added, to go on a high fat,
Not
right?
excessive. Not excessive, madam.
So what
See what
what
happens
would the
in the initial
parameter of
stage.
excessive be?
Let me answer that. In the initial stage, you can add fat. Okay. It will give
Okay,
you satiety and it will help you to start your journey. But
right.
later on, slowly you have to bring the quantity down.
Okay.
Okay. Initially, you will be all the 3 meals, you will be taking butter and ghee. Then one meal you have to drop off. Okay. And then increase. See, basically, the diet should be based on proteins. Try to increase your proteins as much as possible. Your
Okay.
center of your diet should be proteins.
Okay.
Increase your proteins. Have some fats with you. Definitely, it will help you. Okay,
And what about
ghee and butter you can take, but what happens once they start the LCH diet? A lot of clients, they start eating too much of butter and ghee. That's not recommended, because you need to also lose fat, lose weight, and that will not happen. You'll be healthy, no doubt, but you will not reduce your weight and improve
okay?
your diabetic health.
One more question, sir. When you say that one needs to go on a high protein diet, of course, thanks to Pramila ji, I've got a little understanding now of food and how important nutrition is. So my question is that if anybody having a kidney stone problem, is it
Hmm.
safe for them to go on a high protein diet, or if they're having any prostate issues or kidney issues, how safe is a high protein diet?
No, it is not high protein, first of all, I would say. It is
Okay.
the standard. See, what happens, Indians are eating very less protein, madam. We
Yes.
are practically not eating any protein at all. See, the recommended dosage of proteins is about 60 grams per day per
Okay.
body weight for lean mass body weight. 60 grams. So I don't think we are even eating 20 grams at the present moment. So 60 grams, you try to get that much of protein in 2 or 3 times in a day, maybe 30 grams per meal or 20 grams per meal. If you can get protein, no, that will give you satiety. Once
Okay.
you have satiety along with the butter, then
Mhm.
automatically you will gain your health, madam.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Any more queries we have?
There's a lot of chats, I think. Anybody?
Yes. Hi, Mr. Venkat. This is Anjali here.
Tell
I
me,
think
madam.
I have posted quite a few questions also out there. I really, really loved your story. And at the same time, I was pretty much awed with the kind of proper research that you have done and,
Mhm.
dug deeper into what you're
Mm.
actually doing rather than blindly go and
Mm.
fall into keto and do the butter chugging and the ghee
Mm. Yes,
eating
yes.
kind of a format. It's very, very interesting.
Mhm.
What I'd like to know from you was initially when you started off,
Mm.
was it a kind of a vegan Ornish kind of a diet? And then
When I
I also
started
know,
LCHF, when I
no,
started
no, no, no,
LCHF,
that earlier doctor, the low fat wala.
yes, yes, that is actually
Ornish
Dr. Bimal Chajjar. He does in India. Has become very famous. It's a
diet. Uh-huh.
pure veg diet like Ornish. His idea is from Dr. Ornish from US.
Okay, okay.
It's
And how do you manage those constant requirement to eat? Or you kept saying that you were all constantly hungry. Didn't you get into that issue of binge eating and all of that?
no, no, no. See, that way I had tough. I don't know how I managed. To tell you frankly,
Mhm.
uh, I managed to somehow keep my this thing food habits very less. And then see, he had said only one roti means one roti only. As much as possible, I tried to maintain at least 3, 4 years. But it was a very difficult, madam. Actually, you are always hungry, and then you start eating this or that, something or the other in between. So it is tough actually because the calories are reduced, and you're
Mhm.
not getting enough fat for your body nor protein.
Yeah, so there is no satiety there.
Satiety. You're feeling very hungry all the time.
And how about your energy levels? That could have also been really down.
Very low, very low. Energy was really low. Actually, when uh, when I did the LCHF and I started in um, that is in June of 2017. After that, I found my energy was so much. I never felt like that in my whole life. Okay, and those days it was energy was really down. I felt always tired and hungry and not feeling like doing anything actually.
Okay. And when you started off LCHF, how
Mm,
was your heart condition? Because you said 95% block and then you were on the low fat diet. Did it
yes.
kind of help improve to some extent? But then there's also a thing of you're from a completely low fat diet, you jumped into a high fat. So what was the heart condition and what made you take that risk and the jump into a high fat saying this can help?
I'll tell you. Now, see, basically, when I started low fat diet, my heart numbers, only triglycerides were high. Rest of it was in the normal zone. Okay, LDL, HDL was low anyway. Cholesterol also is low only. But they gave me cholesterol medicine, that is statins. And statins, I think there are two types of statins I was taking, Lipicard and one more, Clorovas. And then I was also taking Ecosprin. These are the medicines that I was taking for heart problem at that time. But my numbers, what happened? Only the triglycerides went down because now I'm not eating even carbohydrates because that also got reduced. My energy levels were down. So triglycerides went on decreasing, but rest of the parameters are okay. But every 2 years when I checked up the blockages were increasing. Even though I was not having any heart problem, the blockages were increasing and it was not giving me a very good sign because why should the blockage increase if the diet is correct and whatever I'm doing is correct. So that was because I was strictly following. I had that much of willpower I thought this is the right way to do it. Let me do it. Let me put me all the effort that I have. and did that, but it was not helping me anyway, because after 6, 7 years, I made some 3, 4 visits for CT scanning. I found that it was only increasing but not decreasing. After that, I stopped that and started our own normal Indian diet, whatever others were having in the house. Because without struggle, we used to cook and all that without oil, with this, and then non-vegetarian, don't eat anything other than egg whites. Other than egg whites, we're not supposed to eat anything. No ghee, no oils, no butter. It was such a tough this thing. And then only green leafy vegetables. Vegetables we could eat, and so maybe fruit, a small piece, and all that. So his diet plan and his meal plan was very difficult to follow. But a lot of people are still doing that, and he has a lot of lakhs of people who are doing that.
Yeah,
I really,
I think it's a sad story
mm,
of this nutrition world, that a lot of people are still misguided. It's not that they
yes,
don't
yes.
do, or it's not that they need to eat much, but then they don't have the right information or guidance to do it.
But okay, they are not. That man has become so popular now. He has lakhs and lakhs of followers,
Yeah,
and he is having 2, 3 offices in Bangalore, and he does a lot of this.
yeah. So it's a sad state because people don't end up improving their health in spite of
Mhm,
doing so much of effort and paying so much.
mhm, mhm.
So
So
there's a
anybody
question.
else?
There's a question here posted.
Mm.
Sometimes we still feel craving even after having enough protein and fat. How to manage that? This is a question posed by Divyang Kapoor.
What
Do
are
you
you
have any?
eating? What is that he's eating that we'll have to find out? Because whether he's eating sufficient fat or not. What does he mean by taking protein and fat? How many grams per day he's taking, and what is his lean body weight? Maybe once we know that, we can guide him properly.
Yeah. So I can address that question.
Yes,
Divyang
sir.
is also following low carb keto. So he just
Okay.
requires more salt. Divyang,
He
hope
also,
that
one
addresses.
more thing, correct. Salt is one thing I have not told. See, actually, all of you should have at least once in a day 1 glass of water along with some lemon juice with salt. Lime soda कर दीजिए every day. Anyway, now it's summer. Lime soda, 1 glass in the afternoon is very good for people like us. And also try to shift to Tata light salt so that it has a little bit more potassium, and or else Himalayan pink salt. That's what I am taking.
So
Yeah,
there's a question here. Is it okay to take whey protein every day for protein? There's a question.
I think
Is
okay, it is a real manufactured food, but once in a while I think you can take it. But I don't know whether you can take it every day. But in normal quantities, I think it can be taken at least during the early stages. Once you fall into that, I think you can take it. There's no problem. You need not be very strict about it. Let us take and get the body healthy first. Then after that, you can slowly do away with whatever you want.
I think whey protein can be added daily easily, especially for
Yes, yes.
vegetarians, because they
Correct,
cannot
correct.
meet their protein targets easily. For non-vegetarians, it's okay. Those who eat eggs, it's perfectly
Correct,
fine.
correct,
They
correct.
did not have. But vegetarians find it difficult, so it is very easy to get 25 to 28 grams very easily. First
Correct.
class, highly absorbable protein. There's no issue. They can go ahead and take.
One more whey protein. This thing I found was most of the dishes I make with my non-veg, I make it like KFC, breaded. So what I do is I dip it in egg mixture and then dip it in whey protein and fry it. So you'll get more protein than what is required. So that way, that is one method. It looks like
Yeah.
KFC chicken. So you can make chicken by that way. You'll.
So
It is delicious.
there's a question by Anjali Anand: is salt drink needed even after keto adopted?
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely needed. Every day you have to take it. You have to keep yourself hydrated, and salt is a must.
Anjali,
Because
yes, especially some people will require even more. I personally keep taking salt shots, half a teaspoon of salt dissolved in water, maybe even 2 or 3 times a day. So some people require more if we don't get enough from whatever food we have. Absolutely, it is safe.
I think people who take BP medication are really scared to take that extra salt because they relate more salt to high BP. So it's very
No,
no,
difficult.
let me tell you
no,
that because I am a BP patient. And one more thing is salt is nowhere related to BP. It is only 5% of the people who are really this one. And very low salt also increases BP. Very high salt also increases BP. What I do basically is whatever dish I prepare, I put one extra spoon of salt. Whatever normally is put one extra spoon and then to make your dish. It will be slightly salty, but that is good for your health. And then have one lime soda, this one, salted. That is one thing that you can keep yourself hydrated and get your salt for daily.
Fine. One caveat here is those who are already suffering from blood pressure, hypertension, they can just take the normal quantity of salt. They need not take the salt shots or increase the salt until they address their nutrition intake, because many of them who suffer from hypertension, they are highly insulin resistant, and this excess insulin will actually lead to sodium and water retention. So in those patients, I don't really
Maybe in
recommend
the
very high salt. Yeah, in the beginning.
Beginning.
Yeah. So later on, once you are into low carb keto, once your blood pressure has come to normal, there is absolutely no issue of increasing salt.
Correct.
Absolute no issue. So this
Correct.
is just
Okay, I'll correct myself. Actually,
there are a lot of here. No issue. There are a lot of people here who do not follow low carb, and we really don't want to go overboard with salt.
Okay.
No issue. Yeah.
Okay.
There is one more. You told us while the blockages are there. You told us while you are following Dean Ornish diet, blockages are there. So someone is asking a question about these blockages.
So when I started the LCHF diet, not LCHF diet, sorry, the low fat diet, when I started the Ornish diet, then I expected the blockages will come down, because see, in there was one LAD that had 70% blockages, and then some blockages will come down and all they were telling. That's what initially they told me. But after that, I found that the blockage is not coming down. None of the blockages were coming down. Some other arteries blockages started increasing. So every 2-3 years, some blockages increase, somewhere it reduces, somewhere increases, like this. There was no clear-cut indication that by following this diet, blockages will come down and you will become healthy. So that was never coming out from this diet. So I had to stop it and then start LCHF. And LCHF, I died down once I found out the science was behind me. So once the science was behind me, eating butter, ghee, or whatever, I felt I was quite happy. So this is what is really required, and I was not doing it. Let me do it now.
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesh, Anjali again.
Tell me,
just
Anjali.
want a question. So you said when you started off, you said you had a lot of willpower, you were extremely disciplined and all of that. Now, when you switch to low carb and you're in the maintenance phase, maintenance phase, how much role does your willpower play? Because when you're in maintenance, do you have that, when you see maybe, let's say, a nut, or you want to have a snack sometime in the evening, you go and grab some nut, so you feel like munching something.
Maybe one or two, some small fistful I may take in the evening along with coffee. That's all. That may happen. That's all. Nothing else. I don't feel a craving. See, earlier I used to feel hunger, but I don't feel that hunger now.
Actually, the bottom line is eat when you are hungry.
Yes, eat when hungry.
Absolutely, I get
it. But you would have already gone into the habit of eating snacks and all that. Once you come into this, you avoid that. Please don't take snacks whenever you feel like, because then unnecessarily you will start putting on weight, because your calories will increase. So you have to avoid that as much as possible, because you really don't feel hungry, and out of habit you will simply start eating something.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was where I was coming from, because we're so used to snacking and so used to picking up things that somewhere in the evening or anytime we're sitting late night, we just have that tendency. So basically you're saying it may not be willpower, but some amount of discipline also in terms of the number of times we eat our food. And
you don't feel hungry. Yes, out of habit you should not eat. Eat while hungry, correct, what Anup said.
So there's a question here from Jayalalitha. After LCHF, are there no blockages?
No, actually after LCHF, I have not checked, madam. But as I see, because I don't have any heart issues, I've checked my TMT, my echocardiogram. I have also checked the Doppler carotid. What I want to check is basically a CAC, which is a total calcium score. So this is basically, it will tell all the arteries how much of calcium is there and how much blockages I can create. and what will be my heart health for the next few years. So I'm working on that now, and I've been on the LCHF for some time, and I've taken certain supplements because I have spoiled my health by eating statins and so many other things for the last so many years. So I thought I should give some at least 2 years for my CAC to come to a good value. So after that, I would do a CAC test, and then I think definitely my heart has improved, madam.
Just a point, I think Geeta posted that Dr. Chhajjar is fake. Well, all vegans are fake. That is
Okay.
my take.
Yes, yes.
All vegans,
He's a
all
fake only.
vegan
He's a fake,
doctors
but
are
still
fake,
lakhs of
right?
people are still following him.
Yeah, so
And
that is
we, D-Life should get those lakhs of people.
problem is when a doctor or a dietitian talks what the client wants to listen, right?
Mhm,
They're very happy.
mhm,
I mean, if there are doctors who who tell you to eat 1 kg mango a day, now who would refuse that suggestion? No one. But if we tell you that drop your chapati, drop your rice, they'll say that you guys are crazy.
mhm.
Problem yahi hai.
And Dr.
That is
Chajjar
why,
is the cardiologist, so that he convinces them.
yeah, that is there.
Mhm,
Dean Cornish,
mhm,
if you follow Facebook or his website, all
mhm,
he claims is some king in Nepal.
mhm,
That is his story. He failed with Steve Jobs.
mhm,
He was giving him some anti-cancer diet or something, and he failed. So
mhm,
all these guys are fake. And
mhm,
basically, they are again, extreme end of low-fat diet. Low-fat diet itself has failed.
mhm,
That's what I wanted to say.
mhm,
So anyway, I think for all the viewers, net, what happens is if you really see one of the primary root cause for all cardiovascular disease would be actually a high blood sugar and the insulin resistance, and that is where Mr. Venkatesh is able to address, and that is amply clear by his triglyceride falling down and HDL going up. So he has already said one thing right, and if you really see in this CVD world, even if he has been able to arrest the blockage wherever it is, that itself is a big improvement. And probably once he does certain tests we will know, but whether he can reverse or not is a totally different issue, which may not happen. The biggest thing which he can do is he can arrest the progress. And since he has brought his blood sugar under control, he has brought his triglyceride under the less than the normal level, so that itself shows that he has arrested the progress of the disease, and which itself will help. His energy level will show that he is doing well. So he is actually addressing the root cause to a big extent. I am sure that his inflammatory markers are very, very less, especially when he checks his CRP or HSCRP level would be far, far less. So we should be taking everything into right perspective, and that's how it is. Yeah. Here Gita has also mentioned, can there be a proper diet as that will help? Yeah, the dietary recommendations, everything's are there in D-Life, and a lot of diet plans are there, and people there, actually there are a lot of volunteers who can actually help formulate a good LCHF diet. He's diabetic for, yeah. So Geeta, you can actually join D-Life, and Anup Singh is there, and many of the other volunteers are there. They will actually help you uh, reverse your diabetes, or everything depends upon the stage and at which the person is. 6.2 can be everything depends upon a lot of factor, how long the person is diabetic, how much medication is taking, and things can be worked upon. So either the person can totally be off medication, or medications can be reduced to a minimal. So you can go to D-Life and you can pose your question there, Geeta, so people there will actually address. And the best part about
Just
D-Life is they
in
have more
addition,
than 1,200 low carb dishes available, low carb Indian dishes. So because most of the Western sites will have a lot of bacon and meat and everything, which we don't identify ourselves with. But this is something which is as per the Indian dishes. The best part is whether you are from north, east, south, west. So there are all dishes which are tailor made for various communities. So this is one advantage. Yeah, Anup Singh, you want to add something?
Yeah, the bottom line is hyperinsulinemia is the mother of all diseases. So
Yeah.
always go and measure your fasting insulin, and in extreme cases measure your PP insulin. Don't forget about blood sugar for the time being. सबसे पहला जो है, you measure your fasting insulin and PP insulin. If fasting is more than 6, it is a red flag. If PP at 2 hours is more than 30, that is a red flag.
There's a question here. What was the last CSC score and what should be a good score? I think Mr. Venkatesh is yet to do his CSC score. He will be doing it maybe after some time. But of course, the best score is 0. If you have anyone has 0, then it's said to be having a 15-year warranty period, in the sense that the person is safe for at least 15 years. This is how as per the theory goes. But however, if a person has certain CSC score, let us say 200, 300, 400, and if the person is able to arrest the progression, that itself is a big advantage. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, I think Ivor Cummins says, that 5% per year growth, if you
Yeah.
are restricted to that, even after hitting a number of 300 or 400, you are
Yeah.
far better off than, letting it grow beyond control.
So any more questions? You can wind up.
So we would like to thank you, Mr. Venkatesh, for such an enriching session and for so much of your time and to share all your struggles, challenges, and finally the inspiring moments of good health. And I wish that all the viewers today have taken something important which they could work upon to improve their health. Thank you, D Live. Thank you, Anoop and Shashi, for making all this happen. So
Thanks to all of you.